Good evening and welcome to the Ted Jones World Podcast. Just kidding, if you've never listened to this, don't worry, guys. I am not a British guy who speaks like that. What's up, everybody? Monday today. So if you guys are in New York City, get to that Ted Jones comedy show tonight, 7 p.m. at the Stand. Come have dinner, come have drinks, guys. It's going to be an amazing time. And I just got word that shortly, hopefully within the next month or so, we will be streaming the Ted Jones comedy show, so you guys can get a link and then just pay, a few bucks, a few shekels, and then you can see the Ted Jones Comedy Show live from anywhere in the world, I hope. So, moving forward in the future, for sure. Guys, if you don't think technology is going to be crazy within the next 5 years, you are not looking hard enough. So, it's crazy to just even think. Like, the last time I talked about Shiba Inu coin with you guys, I recommend that if you have like $100 or had $100 at the time, I was just like, throw it in there and forget about it. Like some sort of lottery sitch. But since I told you guys to buy it, it's up like 200%, something like that. So if you put $100 in there, I don't know, you do the math. Or actually, you know what? I'll ask Siri. Hey Siri, what's 100 times 200? That sounds like a dumb math question, but I just don't want to count the zeros right now. 20,000. No, that can't be right. That can't be right. Oh, well, you know what? It has been up over 200%, I believe, something like that. So you would have done pretty well, but I don't know the exact numbers. And guys, I'm not really that big of a numbers guy, but I am noticing the trends here in, crypto land. I think realistically, if you can put your money in some form of crypto, whether it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, or you want to, roll the dice a little bit and put it in a coin that has a lot of potential, a Cardano, XRP. But the knowledge that I'm gaining from crypto, it's not like I'm reading all these books, these finance books or finance for dummies, whatever you may have in terms of reading books. Like, guys, you can get so much information now these days just on YouTube. I know everyone always talks about reading books and stuff, but that's also the older generation, before Web 2.0 and now Web 3.0 is coming out. So AMC, which became a meme stock along with GameStop, a number of months ago when they both shot up an insane amount, AMC is going to be taking Dogecoin as a form of payment. If they start taking Shiba Inu coin as a form of payment within these next few weeks, or Shiba Inu gets listed on Robinhood, guys, there's just so much possibility for some of these crypto coins. A lot of them are shit. Some of them are known as shit coins, but like meme coins and the power of social media and social movements going forward, it's going to be so much bigger than it ever has been. Like I remember probably, what was it? It was like about a year and a half ago, there was a Facebook event saying that we were going to raid Area 51. So online, there was like a Facebook event for everybody to raid Area 51. I wonder what the date actually was, but if you guys know what I was talking about. So it was a massive Facebook group. Millions of people clicked attending on Facebook. So like the town that it was in Nevada was like freaking out. They were like, we can't even have this many people in this particular town. We're going to freaking shut it down. All right, let me see. It was like Area 51 party. It was a party, guys. It was just saying party, like, fancy. Storm Area 51 weekend, neither raids nor aliens, but it wasn't a bust. So I saw this on Vice, actually. They have, like, a little documentary about it, but, like, people showed up to Area 51. They were saying that they were going to raid it. And where is it actually? Somebody created a Storm Area 51 event on Facebook, arbitrarily setting the date for September 20th after 2 million people RSVP'd and the FBI showed up at this guy's house to investigate. It was just basically like a meme. And like I think this was one of the first real social movements where we saw something extremely out of the ordinary happen. Like all these people, maybe it was a joke that they were going to show up to Area 51 and raid where the aliens are. For those of you who don't know, Area 51 is like apparently where there's a bunch of top secret UFO shit in the middle of Nevada. And it's fenced, obviously, all around. So if anybody were to have gone close by, they would have gotten shot in the ass in general. But we're seeing this concept of social movement really coming to life. like Black Lives Matter and then protests throughout the pandemic. I think people are really joining together, and then this changes the trajectory of what we're all focusing on. Web 3.0 is going to be crazy. You saw what Facebook is even starting to do. Facebook may be the first major players to get into like this virtual reality game of like having your own life online. Even in Fortnite today. Think about that. Like how many people play Fortnite and they view the skins in Fortnite that you can buy as extremely valuable. You'll use real money to buy these skins in Fortnite that just make you look a certain way when you're playing the game. I guess this started maybe a long time ago, but it was not really any like Second Life kind of material. But do you guys remember The Sims? That was a fun game on the computer. You basically just like would build a house, have people go to work, have people cook stuff. Maybe they'd swim in the pool if you did well enough in the Sims video game. But I remember there was always those cheat codes. It was like Rosebud, exclamation point, Rosebud, exclamation point to get more money. So I always used to do that. And like a weird thing I used to do in The Sims, this is like such creepy middle school kid behavior. I would make a pool in The Sims, and if they didn't have one of those ladders to get out of the pool, they couldn't get out of the pool. So listen to how screwed up this was. I would make a pool, and then I'd take the ladder out and then just like watch them drown. So weird. But I did a lot of weird stuff in middle school. Like one time, this is a bit that I do, but one time I lied about having Emilio Estevez as my uncle. Do you guys know who Emilio Estevez is? He was the coach in the Mighty Ducks, the movie. If you don't know that movie, the Mighty Ducks, Emilio Estevez is the brother of Charlie Sheen. Such a random lie. I could go on about this bit, but you guys will just have to come to the Ted Jones Comedy Show or hopefully stream it soon when we do have links, but we're in the middle of setting that up. So we'll get that to you guys ASAP. You're looking at the Ted Jones World podcast here on YouTube, Ted Jones World. Guys, why don't you subscribe to the YouTube channel, all right? Rate, comment, subscribe. We always appreciate hearing from you guys. Also, tedjonesworld@gmail.com. So we do have the Ted Jones Comedy Show tonight. I'm super pumped. Check the link in this YouTube video, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, for the link to that comedy show. I'm rocking Ted Jones Comedy Show merch right now. And, I always get fired up for all these Ted Jones comedy shows, guys. We have a great time, but tonight is a perfect time to get dinner, have drinks. And if you guys can make it to this show, we have a show 2 weeks from today, November 15th, and then another 2 weeks after that, November 29th. But you'll get to a show, don't worry. And if you don't live in the greater tri-state area, we'll hopefully have that link for you soon so you guys can check out the live comedy through streaming service, because I think that's also going to be the move too. You think about how many people are really watching TV these days and have like a set 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday show. Like I remember that used to be such a thing back when I used to watch Entourage before I stopped watching it because Vince Chase hooked up with my ex-girlfriend when I was like 17 years old. But I'll get to that story in a moment. I've told you guys it. But like there's no real TV shows that you sit down with your family and you're like, oh yeah, it's coming on at 7:30 tonight. Let's go watch it. You watch it on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, some sort of streaming service, So I think that having live comedy, something that's valuable like that to people to know that, oh yeah, this is happening right now. It's nice to be able to sit down and have like a set event, like pay-per-view boxing events. Those will cost like way more probably than a comedy show, because those pay-per-view events for boxing matches are approaching like $60, right? I think it's because they have so many fights. But I remember like Sundays, I used to during the summer, I used to watch Entourage with like all my 13-year-old or 14-year-old friends. We'd hang out 8 p.m. and then we'd go home, get ready for summer camp the next day, day camp at 9 p.m. But that story, okay. So I was 17 years old and I had been dating my girlfriend at the time for a year. Things weren't really going that great, but she's a great girl. We're like super close now. It's all good. And she's married, obviously. So mazel tov. But we broke up, and then 3 days later, guys, no joke, she went to a movie premiere and met Adrian Grenier, who was at the time, 14 years older than her? She was 17. He was 31 about. And I don't know the details. And obviously to this day, however many years later it is, I don't really care to know the full details, but they were seeing each other for a little bit of time. And if you can just imagine, put yourself in a 17-year-old boy's shoes who just broke up with a girl who's also 17 at the time, and then 3 days later, she's hanging out with the coolest guy of of that particular time. I couldn't even watch Entourage anymore. It was such a good show, too. I loved it. It was like my favorite show. Would binge it sometimes, just watch like the full season. Like that and the OC, I was watching all the time. But Entourage quickly became a show that I never wanted to talk about. And coincidentally, every single day, somebody would be bringing up Entourage in some form. You know kind of how that happens? Like, let's say you stub your pinky toe. This happened to me also. As soon as I stubbed my pinky toe, people started stepping on my toes like nobody's business. It was so weird. Like nobody had ever stepped on a toe of mine before. But now since I hurt my pinky toe, people were like all of a sudden clumsy and like stepping on shoes. Well, yeah, I guess how that works. You attract the energy you bring. But guys, we're just still trying to be positive over here. TedJonesWorld@gmail.com. Send over your emails. And that was a funny story. If you guys want to hear any more funny stories about that, don't let me know because I don't want to talk about that, all right? Legalize it, yeah. A little bit of real estate news. For those of you who don't know, I worked at my dad's company for about 5.5 years, a real estate company. So, I became slightly passionate about real estate, and I'm into it. So this is a California real estate story. Malibu home sells for $177 million, setting new California record. 7 acres on the beach in Malibu. What's you guys is this dream place? People have like, oh, I want to be on Hawaii on the beach. People maybe will think about where they want to retire, when they want to retire. What's your ideal city, country, state, whatever? I want to know. TedJonesWorld@gmail.com. I could see myself like age 70 on down in Florida, something like that in Miami. I don't know, but I've never been to Hawaii. I've been to some places in the Caribbean, Mexico a few times. There are definitely a ton of beautiful places in the world to spend a great amount of time. But what do you guys think? Let me know. I'd be interested to know where you think I actually should visit. I don't know. I never really exit the country that much. I went on Birthright, which is like a trip to Israel. So if you guys have ever heard of that, it was fun, but like it was a lot of work. You go on an all expenses paid trip somewhere, you kind of got to do like the 12-hour shifts. And, it was a solid time. My grandmother texts me some funny things sometimes. Grandmother, if you're listening. Grandmother, not to be confused with grandma. I do have a grandma and grandmother, but my grandmother just sent me a picture of a zug. You guys see this? I'm going to show you this on the Ted Jones World YouTube channel. Look at this dog she just sent here. It's a picture of like a fossilized dog. No, it's not fossilized. What's that called? Like cement dog. I don't know. Sometimes she'll just send me a random text message. Like I don't know how to respond to it. Message your boy on Ted Jones World on the YouTube channel. But I am excited to start streaming these shows, once that gets underway, because I think we have a lot of people who would love to see the Ted Jones Comedy Show. And, I always love hearing from you guys in terms of what you like to hear about, and would love to have you see a Ted Jones Comedy Show if you're unable to make it in the New York City area. This morning was great. Today being Saturday, I ran 5 miles. So I went down to Pier 26, and then also on top of that, in running back, it was getting a little bit hot out there. So I had to go shirtless, guys. And it was like 60 degrees, so I was getting a lot of looks like, why is this guy shirtless? And it's 60 degrees. Actually, it's probably a little bit chillier than that, but like once you get sweaty, you kind of lose sight of the temperature. It has been super rainy, though, this past week. Like last night, I went to Danny Palmer's show on the Lower East Side at Black Hat, and it was some of the worst weather I've ever walked in. Like monsoon, umbrella almost flailed out. I think actually some of the umbrella is broken. But like T to the G, I had an umbrella, and I put so many steps on. You guys will check this vlog that's coming out tomorrow. Actually, I don't know when I'm going to post this vlog. Whatever, it'll come out, I believe, this week or next week, depending on when we post the Ted Jones Comedy Show videos. But you'll see, I put on 18,000 steps in one day. Not bad. They say 10,000 steps a day, but like that's a lot. It may actually not be a lot, but like 10,000 steps that's recorded on the iPhone, that's a lot because you have to have your phone on you, you figure maybe you have like 2,000 steps that aren't recorded when you have your iPhone on you. But I walked all the way down to the Lower East Side and back to my apartment. So down there it was like 2 and change, and then back up it was like 2 and change. So like took 50 minutes each way. And then this morning, those 5 miles usually take me about 50 minutes. So I'm doing like 10-minute miles when I run that 5 miles. Obviously not that fast, but like, I mean, as long as I keep my heart pumping, I feel like it's a great workout. You know, lower intensity, but also running for 50 minutes, in my opinion, could be better for my body. Well, I think definitely is better than my body. You know, if I'm just trying to go out there and crush 5 miles at 6-minute pace, if I'd ever even be able to do that. My fastest mile ever, though, I was a freshman in high school and I ran 5 minutes and 34 seconds. That was like when I was training in terms of like tennis and stuff like that. That was a pretty fast mile, but I can't imagine that I would be able to keep that up for 5 miles. So when you guys do go out there and run, I'd say like time matters more than speed, dare I say. I'd say if you're able to run straight and like not stop for 50 minutes, is that better than running for 30 minutes at a fast pace? Maybe not. Let me know what you guys think. TedJonesWorld@gmail.com. Write in the comments here on the YouTube channel. Here. I'm actually reading this on Google Mail. Like, I don't give a shit, obviously, but like it just popped up as I was reading that Malibu sale. This guy's got another 20-year-old girlfriend. Like, bro, what are you doing? How old is Scott Disick? 38, and he's got a 20-year-old girlfriend? Okay, well, the thing is, I don't know how young I would go. Like, guys, I'm approaching my 30th birthday here, November 13th. How young is too young? I'd say like a 38-year-old and a 20-year-old. Then maybe like that's like too much of an age difference, you know? And his last girlfriend I'm reading here was like 20 years old also. Where does he find these girls? He like DMs them. He's like, hey, how's it going? You should model for my company. This guy, yeah. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think the age cutoff is? If I'm about to be 30 years old, how high should I be looking up, and then how high should I be going down? In my opinion, you know, obviously don't quote. This is off the record. Don't quote me on this. But I'd say in terms of like youngest, I'd say like if the cards were right and I felt this person was very mature or something, maybe 20 years old. Is that too young? I'd say 20 could be okay. Maybe you guys let me know if I'm being controversial here, but like I don't really drink. So if somebody's 20 years old, I don't care that they're not 21 and they can't drink. And if they're very mature, you know, they've got something going on in terms of like life, profession. I wouldn't date a 20-year-old who's in college, I don't believe, but if somebody's 20 years old, maybe they're doing something that I deem cool and super productive that's not college, maybe I would go that young. And then I'd say oldest, I don't know. I mean, you guys know in the past that I've spoken to like ladies who are on the older side, but oldest that I think I'm comfortable going with now, I don't know, maybe 10 years older, 40? Is that too old? The thing is, though, guys, like if I meet a 33-year-old or something, like I don't want to have kids right now. I don't want to get married right now. That's part of my thought process in the attraction to somebody who's younger than me. Maybe not 20 years old, but somebody who's like, I don't know, 25 years old, 27, 23. If I start going out with like a 33, 34-year-old, are they going to want to have kids right away? Are they going to want to get married? I know times are changing and people don't have kids or get married that young, but there's still a lot of people who do get married at 30, my age. I haven't had a girlfriend now in like 2 years and change. Haven't really seen anyone for real in like the last year. So obviously I know I'm focusing on, you know, what I'm doing here, the podcast, comedy shows, vlog and whatever. And it takes a bunch of time out of my day, but like, if I were to be with someone, I would think that it would just have to add to my life right now. I'm getting super freaking vulnerable with you guys right now. It'd have to add more than subtract. You know, I've heard people talk about that many a times, and I think it shows right now, especially since I'm at an age where the next person I could meet, I could be like, all right, you're very chill. We should spend a lot of time together. Should we get married? I don't know. Should we have kids? I don't know. But like right now, And in the immediate, my 3-year plan, I don't see getting married or having kids. Do I see myself having a girlfriend within the next year? Sure. Do I see myself having the talk within the next 3 years about down the road getting married or having kids? Sure. As I lay down here on the couch, but I don't know. It's also like a big thought. So like, if I were to be talking to a female who's a few years older than me, I would think that that's a thought in her head. No. What's the age that you can't really have kids anymore as a female? I mean, I remember, I know back in the day, it was probably around like between 30 and 35 is the best time to have them. But like, technology's around, so like, it could be easier to have kids at like a later age. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be so scared of dating a woman in a female woman. What do you guys like to be called? Females or woman? Dating someone in their 30s. That's just a thought that I have. And because I feel young, approaching my birthday, by the way, November 13th, for those of you who don't know. So coming up on next Saturday. Well, what is it? Today's November 1st. So 12 days from now, I'll be 30 years old. But I don't feel old. Like, guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, you see me right now. Like, does this look like something an old person would do? No. I love the smiley face, though, on the wall. But it's definitely thoughts that I've had. You guys are probably still, like, stressing and be like, he said 20 years old. I've met mature 20-year-olds before. Is that too young? I don't know if it's too young. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But there are no prospects right now. Who are 40 years old, 20 years old, 35, no prospects at all, guys. We're just focused on doing the podcast, vlog, and these comedy shows. So if you guys are free tonight, come to the Ted Jones Comedy Show Monday, 7 p.m. And if you guys can't make it today, come on November 15th, 2 days after my birthday, and bring a birthday present. But, guys, we throw out shirts every single Ted Jones Comedy Show, and we have such a ball. So, I'd love to see you guys at all these shows. And today being Saturday, we have the Ted Jones Comedy Show Halloween special. So I will be dressed up as a slutty sister nun. So hopefully we'll have a vlog of that this week and pictures all over the place. And, we'll see you guys at the next show. I just had 2 burritos for lunch. I can't believe I didn't even tell you guys that on the top of the episode. And also, my grandma, we'll get to this listener email here. My grandmother, rather, wrote in an email. She said, Ted, I'm getting a new dog. What do you think I should name it? And I responded, John. Now that I'm thinking about this in my head, it was funny, just to say that, like, my grandmother should name her dog John. But now that I'm fully thinking about it, her son's name is John, a.k.a. my Uncle John. So I don't think she would think that's funny nor get it while I was just, writing that for myself. Sometimes I'll write text message to my grandparents just for myself. You guys know what I'm saying? You guys know what I mean. You guys know what I mean. Congratulations. You've reached 200 uploads on YouTube. Thank you very much, Video IQ, for that stat. Cool stat. Guys, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. I can't wait to see you guys at the Ted Jones Comedy Show, hopefully tonight or another night, and we'll get you that link soon, so it'll be an amazing time watching on the internet and then also getting to the Ted Jones Comedy Shows in person. Write in your emails, guys. I love hearing from you, tedjonesworld@gmail.com, and we'll see ya next time. Peace. Hope I didn't freak you out too much today, guys. Bye.